As political careers go in China, Bo Xilai's was always a controversial one. Born to a privileged family as the son of a revolutionary hero, Bo Xilai cut a dashing figure among China's often media-shy leadership. Yet the tall and photogenic politician was considered divisive within China's top leadership, particularly after launching a Maoist revival campaign in Chongqing, the city of 30 million where he was mayor from 2007 until his purge this week. In recent months, he became entangled in a scandal involving his longtime aide and police chief, Wang Lijun, after Mr. Wang tried to seek refuge in the U.S. consulate in Chengdu amid a corruption investigation. This week, during China's annual rubber stamp Congress, Bo tried to play down Wang's attempted defection. However, this last chapter in his flamboyant career ultimately helped seal his fate and dashed his hopes of securing a top Politburo job during the leadership transition this fall. In a one-line statement Thursday morning, Xinhua news agency announced Mr. Bo had stepped down as mayor of Chongqing. Xinhua said the decision had been made by the Communist Party Central Committee, giving no further details on Mr. Bo's fate. Just a day earlier, Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao had indirectly criticized Mr. Bo over the Wang Lijun incident in a rare display of disunity among the highest party ranks. Mr. Bo began his political career in China's northeast Liaoning province in the 1980s, rapidly rising through the ranks to become mayor of Dalian, an important port city, in 1993. 8 years later, he was governor of the entire province, going on to become China's Minister of Commerce, where he earned a reputation as having a savvy head for business. But in years to come, Mr. Bo will best be remembered for his time in Chongqing, a huge metropolis in southern China. During his tenure as Chongqing Party chief, he declared war on organized crime and corrupt police and promptly set about cleaning up the city. Hundreds were arrested and several top police officials and gangsters were executed during the brutal crackdown. Some of those targeted have since alleged that they were tortured in police custody and their charges trumped up. In Chongqing, Mr. Bo also launched a Maoist revival that carpeted the city with old-fashioned communist propaganda and became famous across the country. The slogan, "Sing red songs, read classics, tell stories, spread mottos," was plastered across Chongqing, and residents even received Maoist slogans as cell phone text messages. But critics of the Red Revival saw it as a cynical gambit by Mr. Bo to boost his credentials ahead of the 2012 leadership transition. Ultimately, it may have played a part in bringing Mr. Bo down, as more liberal Chinese leaders were unsettled by the campaign and opposed Mr. Bo's populist leadership style. Premier Wen Jiabao repeatedly urged China to avoid a return to the Cultural Revolution in his speech the day before Mr. Bo was purged. Those comments were widely seen as a swipe at Mr. Bo. In what may one day be regarded as a cruel twist of fate, Mr. Bo's sudden purge does display some hallmarks of the power struggles of the very period he sought so hard to revive. This is Leslie Hook for the Financial Times.